Hi Isopod fans, and welcome to another episode of the IsoPOD vlog, and we are going out today to go herping or inverting or isopodding or whatever you want to call it, but we're going out to collect some isopods.
The IsoPOD vlog.
And what do we have in our collection supplies today? A couple of plastic containers for wood, some plastic bags for some leaves, a few containers for isopods, although we're not really looking for isopods so much today as the materials to keep them. A little spade to overturn some of the logs and wood that we'll find. And of course, gloves. I'm afraid of spiders. I'm so afraid of spiders. Let's get to it. We're going to go ahead and hit a park about 10 minutes north of us. It's a great place to look for isopods and especially wood and things like that. Nanette, thanks for driving.
No problem. And what are we looking for?
Well, this trip we're not actually looking for isopods as much as we're looking for the materials to keep the isopods. I'm hoping to find some leaves, especially find some leaves. I'm hoping to find some moss and use that moss in some of the isopod containers. Also, I want to find some dead wood. I'd like to add a lot of dead wood to some of these isopod containers. And I'd like to find some wood that has a little bit of a curve to it so that the isopods can stay under that wood. That's what we're looking for today. So we'll see if we can find it. We're in our first spot here, and hopefully we can find some good material. Let's go ahead and take a look. We're sitting here looking at this little bog down at the end of, or at the bottom of this hill. Probably about a 30-foot drop here, but I'm listening to squirrels and chipmunks and birds and bullfrogs. It's just a wonderful, relaxing area here. Let's go ahead and check some of these pieces of wood. This is exactly what we've been looking for, this rotting wood. See how it breaks up pretty well. We're going to collect some of this and we're going to go ahead and bake it, and we'll use these in our isopod enclosures. One of the huge benefits of doing this is seeing nature and being able to take in all of these plants and flowers, sounds, animals running around. There's just so much to see out here. I found this really nice area here with some moss. I'm going to go ahead and collect some for a sample. And I'm going to see if I can propagate this at home. For this moss, for any of the logs that we overturn, for anything that we're doing out here, I want to make a real clear point that we're going to leave this environment as close as we actually found it. So any logs we're going to overturn back to where they originally were. And we're just going to take as much of a sampling of this moss to get a starter back home. One spot down. Here's our second spot. We didn't find much in that last spot. We got some moss. We saw some beautiful flowers. No isopods. A little bit of wood. So we'll give this spot a shot and see what we get. Check out this piece of mushroom here. We'll go ahead and collect this, and we're going to put it out and dry it. I finally found a piece of wood that looks promising. We've got a couple of isopods in here. I think I see one crawling out. I'm going to go ahead and take this back in a bag, and we'll take a look at it once we get home. I wanted to do a real quick summary of what we collected today. And here's some outstanding mushrooms. We'll go ahead and dry these out and probably use them in a couple, 3 months for the isopods. Here's our second find of mushrooms. This is just an absolutely huge mushroom by the comparison of my hand, how big this thing is. Here's the second selection of mushrooms that we found. You can see how big these pieces are. Here's my glove for comparison. We were able to collect some wood, and I'll use this wood for the substrates and just putting the pieces in for the isopods to hide under. We'll go ahead and dry this wood out by baking it, and we'll probably use it within the next few weeks in our isopod enclosures. One of the things that I'm really excited about is finding this. Well, we didn't really find it. It was all over the place. This is the moss that we collected today. I don't know anything about setting this up, but I'd like to try this in a couple of the isopod enclosures. So tonight I'm going to mist this container down and do some research on YouTube. We'll give this a try and see how it goes. As I go ahead and add the isopods to this little container, one of the big disappointments that I had today was finding leaves. I'm really short on hardwood leaves, and I was hoping to find a couple of bags of leaves today, but really struck out there. We did find some isopods. This wasn't the primary objective. It was more looking for materials to use in the isopod enclosures. But I wanted to give you a real quick view of a couple of the isopods that we collected today. I think we got probably a couple dozen. So we'll set these up in a separate container. What I'm going to try to do is set this up in a little 6-quart container with natural substrate and wood and see how it goes. Thank you once again, Isopod fans, for tuning in, and we'll see you next week on another episode of the Isopod vlog.